7%
And now
of
a
my
word
life
from our
is,
sponsor.
yeah, 7% of
Monica's
my life
cat
is
found
spent
Henry
on,
a little bit ago. It was pretty funny.
yeah, just crazy. So how's Ornery with the smoke?
She's been really needy.
Yep.
It's okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I just realized this morning that my friend that I was visiting before I came to meet you, that was, south of Portland, she's out now too. She's actually staying with her son in Salem now. So I
Is
need
she in Oregon? She was in Tualatin, right?
she was in just outside of West Lynn.
They haven't evacuated that yet. It's on level 2, but a lot of people are leaving at level 2, which is a smart thing.
Yeah, and it might be that there might be enough smoke there or whatever that she's trying to get out of the smoke till.
There's really nowhere you can go in Western Oregon that doesn't have smoke except for maybe Seaside.
Yeah, bummer. Well, y'all can always come down here. Bring your trailer. I got a big yard.
We'll probably go to my brother's if we have to leave.
Cool. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and start on check-ins, and I'm going to do this in the order that you're appearing on my screen, so that makes you first, Stan. So I'm going to start with the usual, water and breathing. All good?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. How about your fruit in the morning? What'd you have?
Strawberries and blackberries. I finally got to the grocery store and bought a bunch of produce. So I've got, it was Walmart, so they didn't have anything really exotic, at least not that I could find. But I've got three kinds of berries and apples and bananas now.
Cool.
So
They didn't have any organic
That's more
berries.
diverse than I had before.
Yeah, that's
Sorry?
definitely more. They didn't have any organic berries though, did they?
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Really? Oh, cool. Okay, then I'm gonna go this afternoon. Cool.
Well,
Excellent.
Save Mart has organic berries too, so.
Yeah, but they're always more expensive and, I'm cheap.
Gotcha.
There is that. So excellent. And what about your food and dialogue over the past 24 hours?
Well, yesterday afternoon was a series of petty frustrations for me. It was one thing after another. And by the time I got home, I was sort of ready to chew nails. And I actually had a dialogue, and following Jeanette's suggestion, I actually spoke it all out loud. And it was, I'm going to have some pistachios because, and then it's, well, like, why do you want them? It's almost supper time. Yeah, but they'll make me feel better. And then the standard part, well, yeah, but they won't really. And it's, yeah, but Eric said if we want them, we should try them. So, or have them. So I did. And it was probably, I don't know, it was a medium-sized dish of them. Of course, I didn't feel any less pissed off after eating them than before. And I can only conjecture that Eric really wanted us to do that, even though we know better, so that we would really lock in that knowledge and that it wouldn't just be theoretical and me saying, yeah, I don't think it's really going to make me feel better, but rather saying, yeah, I remember I tried that and it really didn't make me feel better. So that felt like a good learning.
Yeah, that's a great observation, Stan. Really. Well done.
And then supper was carnitas, and I cooked a heck of a lot of onions and peppers to go with. So I got good vegetables there. And last night was the last of the wine that I have in the house. And just like with candy, I'm not buying any more for a while.
Okay, cool.
And then today I feel much less pissed off.
Good. Good. So I would say with the wine, at least for now, it's not something that we're asking you to take a vacation from. So if you have the urge to buy more, do it for now.
Okay, actually, I'm glad you brought that up. So we're still in the mode of if we used to have something, we should continue to have it.
As long as it does
except
not
for sugar.
Sugar. Yep.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
you don't need to eliminate anything except what we're asking you to eliminate right now. Fair enough?
And it sounds like we're not really allowed to eliminate anything except what we're being asked to eliminate. Is that accurate? I mean, I just want to make sure I understand.
Yeah, that's really the preference, because
Okay.
just as you had the great observation of really locking it in, the more opportunities you take to lock it in with the stuff that we're not asking you to eliminate right now, the better your learning is going to be long-term.
Okay. Well, I want long-term improvement, so I will follow that.
Cool. Now, that doesn't mean that if you have no desire for wine, you need to go out and buy a 6-pack and, scarf it down. But if you
Right.
have the desire, if you think, well, I'd really like to have a glass of wine, have a glass of wine, have 2. Have whatever it is that you feel like, but again, paying attention to your dialogue. Fair enough?
Okay. That's fair. I mean, at this point, I really don't have a desire because I proved to myself that it really doesn't make me feel good. But whether that will still stick with me over the next week, I don't know. I'll find out.
Cool. Perfect. Great job. Linda, you're next.
Oh,
So start with water and breath. How's that going?
breath is good. Water's good. I had a little bit of a mishap yesterday. I don't know. I was just so damn full. I couldn't eat any vegetables in the afternoon. And I had a little bit of rice and chicken, and I woke up so damn full. So I made the coffee and I looked at it and I looked in the refrigerator for the fruit. It's like, I really want the coffee because that way I don't have to eat. And it's good the first thing to sip in the morning after the water. But I went into the refrigerator, got out my passion fruit, my dragon fruit, and a little bit of cantaloupe. And I ate probably a quarter of the dragon fruit, and I ate the passion fruit, which is, by the way, delicious. It's just a gooey stuff in the center. You guys never had it before, the bunch of seeds, but the flavor is amazing. So I kind of mixed it in with my cantaloupe.
I couldn't get past the seeds in the passion fruit. I'm not a fan, but I love dragon fruit.
Didn't bother me a bit. Slid right down my throat. It was great.
There you go.
And then I sat there with my big tall shake, and I'm like, God, I don't want to eat this. So I haven't been wanting to consume as much. I feel like I'm just up to here in food.
Right.
I want to take a break.
So keep in mind a couple of things there, right? One of them is that we are nutritionally loading you right now. And for you, the change is not as dramatic as it might be for some other people, but it still is a change, especially in the way that we're asking you to consume. Just fruit first thing in the morning,
Yeah.
right? It's a different kind of consummation. And the only thing I would say, where you went with chicken and rice last night, and you were already not like feeling really hungry, what if you'd had vegetables instead of the rice as a way to get the veg
Well, I
in?
had it in the crock pot. It was cooking all day, right? And so
And
it's
the rice was already in there?
pardon me?
The rice was already in with the chicken?
Oh yeah. I do this mixture.
Okay.
And then it's so good. And so I've been smelling it throughout the afternoon. So yeah, I forfeited my vegetables to have some of that. Actually, it was really good. So so I was just full. I woke up a few times in the middle of the night, just full of gas too. Very gassy tummy. So I don't know if that's a normal thing, if everyone else is experiencing more of that, but yeah.
That's not uncommon at this stage at all,
Okay.
to get some extra gas. And I'm going to go back to the rice again, because although rice is not refined sugar, it converts to sugar in your stomach. And when you've got other stuff that's left behind, basically you're fermenting. And that's how you get gas.
Oh, I see.
So just kind of keep that in mind.
Okay. Now, right now, I don't change any of that, right? Right now, I'm just
Nope, don't need to.
eliminating anything with added sugar.
Yeah, anything with any kind of refined sugar. And
Yeah.
I put up
But
in the
stevia was
Facebook
still okay, right? The fake sugar is still okay.
the artificial sweeteners, but
Yes.
only if you've been using it already. So for
Yes,
example,
stevia, yeah, is what I've been using already.
yeah, yeah. So if
I don't use it very often.
that's
Just-
fine, but
yeah.
you can't substitute a fake sugar for refined sugar so that you
Got
keep having the sweet. Okay.
Okay.
And the example that Eric uses in the video is if you're putting sugar in your coffee now, you're going to stop putting sugar in your coffee, and then you're going to find out whether or not you really like coffee. You're not going to substitute with a fake sugar or honey instead.
Right, I understand that. Right. No substitution. Eliminate anything that has added sugar.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Right.
we're entering the stage now where if you're having difficulty increasing your quantity of vegetables, Linda, then I'm really going to suggest that you look at eliminating the stuff that you know is less good for you, like rice or grains. You know,
Okay.
eat much less of that so you've got more room for vegetables.
Well, it was brown rice. Does that make a difference?
No, not really.
Oh, okay. They teach you that brown rice is the choice, right?
Well, that's what they try and tell you.
Yeah, that's what they conditioned us. So I always never ate white rice because white rice gives me a terrible stomach ache. I
Yeah,
can't.
I'm going to go eat white rice for lunch. I'm having sushi.
Oh, I can't eat it. Never could.
I'm
Stomach
not
hurt.
having that much of it, so it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I know what the effect is going to be, and I'm making a conscious and conscientious choice. And
Okay.
this is food freedom, making the choices.
Okay.
And then this is my last opportunity of eating out, I think, for a while, I hope, because I really do better. I like what I eat at home better than what I eat in restaurants.
I agree with you 100%. Me too.
But
I'm not a fan.
I've had people all week that I've needed to be meeting with, so, and they want to do it in restaurants. I'm going to find a different venue pretty quickly for doing those things. So, yeah, so keep in mind that if you're having rice or other grains and you're feeling too full to eat the vegetables, at least eat less of the rice and get some of the vegetables. Fair
Okay.
enough?
And we can have the vegetables in the form of a smoothie, correct?
Yeah, you can do that. You can make a salad. You can,
Okay.
you know, you can frighten them in the steamer.
Okay.
You
Okay.
can do whatever you want. I don't care how, but we want to be loading as much as we can in terms of vegetables.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Good job. Dana, how are you going?
Going good. Monica's family's here. Food's gonna be challenging with people that don't eat any vegetables in my house.
Well, you will be able to lead by example, and then maybe Monica will want to join us on the next one.
No.
Probably not. I know.
But anyway, when we get done here, I'm going out to Jones Produce and stock us up on veggies and fruits and everything.
Cool. Cool. Have you gotten to the Alkagizer yet?
No, we just survived yesterday.
So I just want to check in on one thing. Are you not getting the Alkagizer because of the circumstances with the fires and stuff, or do you have some fear around it or potential distaste?
Well, first off, I hate cucumbers, and that's one of the ingredients. So,
Swap out something else.
all right.
So,
They give me a stomach ache, and I belch them all day long. So I don't really want to have that first thing in the
Yeah.
morning.
yeah, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. So let's think about some alternatives for you. How do you feel about bok choy?
I have a whole bunch of it here.
Oh, that's right. You're fine with bok choy. I knew that. So, yeah, maybe sub out for the cucumber, sub in some bok choy. You know, you're going to sub in some other greens for the spinach because you're not going to eat spinach.
Right, I'll get romaine for that.
Yeah, you can eat romaine. You can do some kale. You can do a combination of stuff. Spring mix, whatever. Any of the greens.
Spring mix I can't do because it's got spinach in it.
Oh, yeah, many of them do. Right.
I have to make my own spring mix.
Yeah. And then you're okay with
And I'm
celery.
planting my veggies in the garden again because it's time for that.
Cool. And you're good with celery, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so increase the celery because that's a high water content. If you're taking, so celery and cucumber are both really high water content, and so they help with the consistency. So if you're taking the cucumber out, put in some more celery, maybe sub in some bok choy, and make sure you're getting yourself some flavoring so that, you know, it's fine. And then as Stan did yesterday, and I've done previously as well, I do broccoli stalks in with mine. You can, it doesn't matter what it is.
I like broccoli, so we have
Yeah.
lots of it.
Yeah, so that's another option as well. But I really want you to take the plunge and get started with it, because we want to get the nutritional loading up, especially as we're starting to pull out the sugar, because you're going to start to notice some changes in your body over the next week or so just from pulling the sugar. Cool?
I'm not going to miss the sugar.
I figured. Any idea how they're, is their house okay? They're just there with you, or do we know yet?
Their house is still okay. They can still access their security system and see everything. The cats met each other a few minutes ago. It was kind of interesting.
Cool. All right, well, it sounds like everybody's okay. Say hi to Monica for me.
When they get back, they're getting glasses.
Ah,
And Emma's here in the other room asleep.
cool. All righty. Jeanette.
There you go. Hello.
Hey there. How are you today?
I'm excellent. Thank you.
Excellent. How you going with water and breathing so far?
Water is fine. I'm still having a hard time breathing. I think what I need to do, I know, guys, I'm sorry. It's just, it's
No,
the
no, no.
stupidest thing.
I just love it when you say I'm having a hard time breathing, because it's something we do unconsciously anyway.
Yeah, but to do that breathing exercise. So I
Consciously.
think what I need to do is, like, every time I have a meal, and it's probably just good conscientious to slow down, focus on what I'm eating, to do my breathing exercises before I eat. I think that's what I'm going to do. Because I was on the phone all day yesterday, the alarm went off, and I went, whatever, you know. So yeah, that's the only thing. Water's doing great. The Alka-Geyser I absolutely love. I actually was getting hungry, and I thought, oh man, I wonder if I could run home and get a little bit more of the Alka-Geyser before I have my lunch today. So I actually had that thought, and I went, good for you. Yeah, we don't have
Good
time.
for you.
So yeah, we don't have time. But I was still stoked that at least it came to my mind.
Uh-huh.
I didn't have any veggies last night. I had a mishap. I made homemade sauce, been cooking all day, roasted the tomatoes last night, put them in, got everything going. I was so excited about homemade sauce. Wanted to go get my veggie noodles out. I was talking to my son. I get a little animated when I cook, and I took the top of my knuckle off with my veggie bullet.
Ooh.
Huh. So, and men are hysterical. Sorry, Stan. Men in my house are hysterical. Evidently, because we're making veggie bullets with the sweet potatoes and the zucchini, they all had to be thrown away just in case it touched the part of my knuckle that came off at the blade. So I didn't have any vegetables last night. I had traditional pasta, which I'm eating today. But it cracked me up. I'm like, well, you guys can do that. No. It has to be sanitized. We have to like run it through the dishwasher 3 times before we cut some vegetables with it. Whatever.
So tell me about your veggie bullet. This is something I've never heard of.
Oh, girl.
And I think I want to.
Yes. So I'm a Rotarian. I don't know if you knew that or not, but we had an auction and I won this veggie bullet, and it can make spiral cut. You put whatever vegetable in there, carrots, cucumbers, yellow squash, whatever you want. And it will, so I do a lot of air frying. It will make crinkle fries. It will make fancy fries, spiral fries. It'll make pastas with any vegetable. You stick it in, it's got all these different blades, but the blades are wicked sharp.
So watch the knuckles.
Yeah, well, again, I was talking, and next thing I knew, it was one of those that I didn't feel it when it happened.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I'll take pictures, or I'll send you a link.
Perfect.
But yeah, we do lots and lots with the veggie bullet.
Hey, even better, would you post it up in the Facebook group? Because I may not be the only one interested.
Okay, absolutely,
Yeah, that'd be
absolutely.
great.
But you know, I'll make vegetable, like make an antipasta salad.
Mhm.
But instead of using pasta, I'll use sweet potatoes or yakima or anything. But it'll make pasta shapes, and you marinate it in like olive oil and vinegar, or if you want to cheat, Olive Garden sells their dressing. You put a little bit of that on it with all your vegetables, and it stays for days. It's good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
Mhm.
Well, it
I'll
sounds
post
like
that.
you're on the right track as long as you avoid injury.
But yeah, I didn't have any vegetables last night, which was a bummer. But I did have my fruit this morning, and has everyone seen the today's message from Eric?
I have.
I was so
Thank you for
happy.
seeing it. Cool.
Yeah, I was super happy to hear about the fruit. But I had a question because I've only gotten halfway through it.
Okay.
Are we allowed to have fruit through the day, or is it just in the breakfast
Just
still?
in the morning.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
Yeah, so I'll clarify that. He clarifies it in the video as well. But because we're asking you to increase your fruit intake by 2 to 3 times what you're eating currently, it's perfectly okay to just like snack on it throughout the morning. And the suggestion that he makes, and this is what I wound up doing most of the time, was I just chopped it up and made a great big fruit salad, and I just sit there at my desk and just keep picking away at it all morning long until I got through all of it. And I'll tell you, the thing that happened for me was I was not a big fan of fruit before I did my 90-day challenge. And in this week, in week 3, when he's like, eat 2 to 3 times as much, my first thought was, oh, wow, that's a lot of fruit. I don't know if I can do that. And then my next thought, the very first day I did it, was like, wow, this is kind of awesome. I really like this. So, but I like doing it as a fruit salad. It was just easier to be able to sit there with a fork rather than getting my hands messy with a juicy piece of fruit or something, and that kind of
So
thing.
let's talk about, I know you say this is not portion size, but
Well, hang on a second. Hold that thought, Linda, because I want to finish check-ins first, and then we'll get into more
I'm
detail
sorry.
about it. Okay. Thanks. Anything else for you, Jeanette?
Nope, doing really good.
Excellent. Excellent. Sandra, your turn. Let's talk breathing first.
Breathing's okay.
Good.
I could also, do more, but yes, that is good. Water is at 6 cups.
Woohoo! Yay! That's good progress.
So keep on working on that. I got to the store yesterday, and so I bought some new fruits to try for the morning. So I'm still working on that because, I have a different schedule than everybody else. But got some pineapple and got some raspberries. So yeah, I love the pineapple. It's just the bad part is that it gives me a little bit of acid.
Oh, you want to fix that?
Yes,
Salt it.
salt it
Uh-huh.
with Himalayan.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, because I did buy my Himalayan salt yesterday.
Cool.
Is it okay to add a little bit of that to the appetizer?
The salt? Absolutely.
I've been putting lemon in my appetizer, and then okay. So that has been going on. I watched the video yesterday. Not too nervous about it. The only thing that I'm worried about, kind of, is a main source of sugar for me is my Coke. I drink the mini Cokes because, according to me, it's my caffeine. It helps me stay awake. I will tell you though, yesterday I opened a mini Coke and I only had 1 sip. That was it. So I'm hoping the next week will be better. I'm just worried about getting the headaches. But
And truthfully, you may get headaches for a little while. But the thing that will really help with that is increasing your water intake. And there's also a specific breathing technique that will help to reduce headaches or eliminate them. So we'll come back to that and talk about that as well for you to see if, so that you've got that tool to use if you start getting headaches instead of just taking drugs.
I already took enough. And then in regards to the morning, adding more fruits, that's going to be a challenge, but I'm going to do it.
Cool.
Now, since we're adding more fruits, do we still have to force ourselves to try to eat regular breakfast?
I'm sorry, say that again.
We still have to try to force ourselves to eat regular breakfast too? Oh.
You can cut down the quantity a little bit though. You don't have to eat a full regular breakfast, but yeah, the only thing we want you eliminating this week is going to be sugar. So it makes it a little bit difficult, but you'll really start to notice as we move through the next week the difference in how you feel from the increased fruit and continuing to increase your intake of vegetables in general. So, you know, if you're down to the point where, let's say your breakfast, what would be a typical breakfast for you?
I was trying to make like eggs and maybe some sausage or something, but
So like how many eggs do you usually eat?
usually just one.
Okay. And how much sausage?
Maybe like 2 links.
Yeah. So, I mean,
But I might throw
certainly
some cheese in there.
you may want to, in terms of impact on your body, you might want to consider eliminating the cheese and maybe just have one sausage link so you're not getting so much food on top of all the other stuff you've already had. See
Yeah,
how
'cause
that
it's-
goes.
Yeah, because it feels like it's like I'm still stuffed from all the vegetables and fruit and all that, and I feel like I'm just forcing it down my
Good.
gullet now.
And that's exactly what you should be feeling like right now. That's perfect. You're doing great.
Okay, and then in terms of vegetables, as long as we're not adding the apple to our appetizer, we can drink more of that to count as our vegetable intake during the day.
Yep, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah. So you can do that all day long without the apple.
Gotcha.
Perfect. Perfect.
I want to just say one thing. Check the ingredients on those sausage links. 99% of the time it's added sugar to it.
Yeah, I haven't bought any this week, so I will make sure to do that.
And bacon is another one where, you know, sugar shows up pretty much consistently in bacon all the time.
Yeah.
Trader Joe's has an uncured sugar-free bacon that I won't say it's awesome in the way that like maple cured bacon is awesome, but I think it's absolutely fine. And I use it for things like, you know, occasionally salad toppings or, you know, cream soup toppings and stuff like that. I'll crumble it up. And if you haven't tried air frying bacon yet, I highly recommend it.
Really?
Yep.
I haven't tried that.
Yep. I
Yeah,
really
I need
like
it.
air fried bacon.
The
That's good to
Olive
know.
Garden salad dressing has a lot of sugar in it, even the light one.
I'm sure that's true.
Yeah, and you know, that's a good reminder too about Trader Joe's, because I do love Trader Joe's. It's just the closest one to me right now is probably about 15 miles. But maybe I can make a special trip out there to get some, you know, food for the
Yeah.
week.
I typically hit Trader Joe's about once a month because for me, Trader Joe's, Costco, and Sprouts are all an hour away. So that's 2 hours worth of driving. I kind of make a half day of it and go shopping.
Yeah.
Which I desperately need to do at this point because my refrigerator is pretty empty. Cool. Let's go back to Linda. You had a question that I asked you to hold.
Yes, it's the fruit. I know we're not talking about portions, but 2 to 3 times. I mean, what does that really look like?
Well, what did you have? What did you have this morning? You said you had about a quarter of a dragon fruit.
Yep.
And what else with the passion?
Passion fruit and a nice thick slice of cantaloupe cut up.
Yeah, so about 3 times that.
Okay, I didn't know if we could eat the whole 3 whole cantaloupes or how you want it.
Well, you could.
As it is.
Maybe. That might be a lot. I mean, everybody's going to be different in what those quantities look like.
Okay.
You know, so I mean, I'll give you an example of what was a fruit salad for me. I do about half of dragon fruit, and my dragon fruits are usually about this long, and so I do about half of a dragon fruit. I usually do 1 or 2 kiwi, a handful or 2 of berries, pineapple because I love it, and basically I'd fill up pretty much a quart-sized bowl and work my way through that all morning long.
Okay.
Now, that's me. If you're,
Yeah.
you know, about 3 times what you're eating now.
Okay.
We're really working on nutritionally loading at this point.
Okay. That's what I'll remember. Nutritionally loading. Okay.
And especially because we are removing all of the refined sugars. And, you know, this is an example I want to give you guys. Again, for me, this is one of the things that I discovered. When I got to this video in my 90-day challenge, I walked into my kitchen and I looked in my pantry, which is pretty bare anyway, because I don't keep much at all in the way of packaged food. But one of my guilty pleasures was to get that, you know, semi-salty crunch from Stacy's Organic Pita Chips. And I read the ingredients list and it's got added sugar. I was so pissed off. Why on earth do we have sugar in something that is not even supposed to be sweet? Oh, we have sugar because the food industry wants us buying more of it. So let's get addicted to that. And it's a little bit like Lay's potato chips. It's pretty hard to eat just one Stacy's, you know? So I had an unopened bag. I took them back to Costco and they asked me why I was returning them. And I said, because they have added sugar and that's completely and totally ridiculous. So I'm voting with my dollars.
Very good.
You know, I had, you know, we talked about earlier, we talked about spaghetti sauce. I had, you know, organic, high quality spaghetti sauce that I always kept a jar or two in the pantry just so I'd have something for emergency backup. And I looked at that and it had added sugar. Stop eating that. And the third thing for me that really put me over the top, I used to buy roasted red peppers at Trader Joe's in the jar, and they have added sugar.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's completely inappropriate. And so I don't buy roasted red peppers anymore. I buy peppers and I roast them. It's not like it's difficult.
So easy.
It's so easy. And then I do a bunch at a time. I chop some up and throw them in the freezer and just get out a small package whenever I want to have roasted red peppers. And it's fine. It's not a big deal. So, and I'm going to give you guys all this assignment. I want you to go through everything in your kitchen that's in a package. And I want you to read all of the ingredient labels. And as Eric said in the video, sometimes they make those lists so tiny that they're really, really hard to read. Take a picture and then enlarge it on your phone so you can actually read the ingredients. I posted up in the Facebook group a graphic with, I think, 55 names for sugar. We actually know 65 now, but I don't have a graphic for that yet. So if you're not sure whether something's sugar or not, take a look at that graphic and, you know, or just go Google it and say, you know, is this sugar? There are so many different names for things that show up in all kinds of unexpected places. So once you've done that, then go in the Facebook group and post what you found most surprising that was lurking in your pantry, or any questions you've got about any of that stuff. Cool?
Cool.
Awesome. So how are we feeling about getting rid of sugar on a scale of 1 low, 10 high? Stan, I'm going to start with you. I really like, where would you place yourself number wise? 1 low, 10 high, 10 meaning I'm really afraid of giving up sugar, 1 meaning I don't think it's going to be a problem.
I'd say about 4 or 5.
Right?
I'm not afraid of giving it up. I'm just afraid of. I was about to say willpower, but that's the wrong word.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be different, and but I've known, even before I got into WildFit, I've known it's something I need to do. So that, I think, is in my favor. I bought a Conan's Eclair this morning. That's going to be buffer zone dessert tonight, and then I'm going off sugar. So
Cool. I'm going to say you may actually have difficulty finishing that Eclair.
I might.
Well, as in, unless they've downsized them. When Paul was out here with Dana, Paul and Dana were both out here visiting a year or so ago, and Paul and I went to Conan's one day, and we split one of those for dessert and could barely finish it.
Well, I haven't looked at it yet, so I'll find out.
But they are pretty, well, they used to be pretty tasty. I'm betting they probably still are. So cool.
But basically, I mean, the reason I did it partly is I wanted to experience a Conan's Eclair while I still could, but also I haven't had any baked goods in a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And that meant I haven't had any food dialogue about baked goods in a few weeks. So I felt I needed to do that.
Good plan.
Because I need to have some dialogue about a category of food that I've been giving up by willpower, but I don't need to depend. I don't want to be dependent on willpower with it.
Good. I think that's a good call. So yeah, I'll be interested in hearing how that turns out. And
Okay.
again, that's the kind of thing that would be great if you just put a few notes in the Facebook group, because your observations about how that went can be really helpful for other people as well. And it is
Gotcha.
really important that we're all supporting each other. So cool. All right, Linda, 1 low, 10 high. How concerned are you about giving up all things sugar?
I would probably say I'm really not that concerned. So maybe what, a 9? I don't know, a 1, depending. But
Well, 1 means you're not concerned at all.
I'm probably a 1 then. I'm sorry, I did it backwards. And it is because I've done it before. I
Uh-huh.
felt better. I wasn't groggy all the time. The only bummer is when I gave up sweets, it was like no cookies, candies, cakes, none of that crap in the house. But what I failed to do when I, quote, gave up sugar was really read the back of everything. So that's why it's not a 0, because I have to go in now and say, oh, what's going back to the grocery store?
Well, and I mean, the truth is that if you work at it, consistently, you can find other, if you want to get an already made product, you can generally find other already made products that don't have sugar added, but you got to really work at it.
Right. And the other thing is, that's what a crock pot's for, right? Homemade enchilada sauce and cook, and then I could freeze some in quart jars.
Yep, absolutely.
Plastic
And
jars.
and we all know that the more stuff we make from actual real food in our own homes,
Yeah.
better quality we're getting overall.
Yep.
We know
Yep.
that.
Yep, I do. Yeah.
And
Now being kind of semi-retired from real estate, I feel I have more time now to do stuff like that.
yeah, and it's also, we've got tools that make it that much easier. Instant Pot, crock pot, veggie bullets, all of those things make it easier to do on our own rather than what we've been conditioned to do, which is to go to the grocery store and buy stuff from the middle shelves, from the shelves in the middle of the store. I mean, for me personally, I hardly ever walk down any of those aisles. I walk
Right,
around the
me
perimeter,
neither. I agree. I don't either. Yeah.
vegetables and meat, and that's really it.
One of the things that I'm a little concerned about, because I'm not I can eat a salad, but I'm always like sucking down vegetable smoothies because vegetables are not my favorite, is after we remove the grain, remove the milk, remove the sugar, what the fuck is left? Fruit and vegetables and meat.
You'll be
So I
surprised
hope
at what's
there's
left.
Pardon me?
You'll be surprised at what's left.
Well, I just hope there's some good recipes I can live my life through,
Yeah. So keep in mind, what we're doing right now is a 90-day challenge. And the 90-day challenge is not how living WildFit really goes. This is a challenge to get you in the position so that you'll be able to make your choices appropriately for the rest of your life.
Right. And I appreciate that. And it's been interesting. And I'm glad I'm doing it. Yeah.
So as we ask you to eliminate things over the coming weeks, it's a little bit artificial. There will be some things you may want to put back in. Other things you may never want to put back in. Some you may want to have occasionally. And so I'll give you an example of that. One example of that for me is root vegetables. I eat root vegetables less than I used to on a regular basis, but more in concentration in a shorter period of time.
You'll
So-
teach us all that stuff, right?
Yeah, and we're going to teach you all that stuff, and especially, honestly, the very last week of the challenge is all about getting you transitioned into living WildFit for the rest of your life, and being able to make those choices appropriately and understanding how you want to do that long term. And that's
Okay.
also why we will have an ongoing Facebook group for alumni, which will be a really small group because you guys are the first. But then as each group comes through, they'll get added in and we'll get more and more input from everybody and more recipe sharing and all that kind of stuff. And I'll tell you this as well, as we move through this phase, if you've got a recipe that you really think you're going to miss for a certain kind of food, tell me what it is and I'll figure out how to make it WildFit friendly. I've been working on that with a lot of stuff. I'm working on one right now specifically for Stan for hot cocoa.
How about cream of mushroom soup?
Oh, that's easy.
Cream of chicken, cream of celery?
That's all easy.
Okay. That's what I'm interested in. 'Cause I've
Yeah,
been that mixed up with vegetables and the crock pot with your meat is so good. It's so flavorful.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I always buy the fat-free stuff.
Well, you may change your mind about that too. We'll talk more about that in coming weeks.
Okay.
Dana, 1 low, 10 high. How do you feel about eliminating all refined sugars this week?
I'm probably a 2. I just have to go through the rest of my cupboards. That's not a big deal. I mean, even our own recipes, when I make them, I've been cutting the sugar in half every single time, and Alan's eating it, so I'm full. So we're getting there on normal recipes anyway, just because I was trying to wean it back to where he would still eat it. So eliminating it out, like he likes our broccoli salad, we're down to less than a quarter cup in a double-sized batch. So
Well, good.
Yeah, very good. So that's a great way to be able to do it. Just start cutting it back, cutting it back, cutting it back until it's all gone.
Right.
In fact, the first thing I remember doing that with was sweet tea. Because, you know, I grew up south of the Mason-Dixon line, and sweet tea was almost as popular or more popular than unsweetened iced tea. And my sister-in-law used to make sweet tea like super, super sweet. And I did the same thing. And I just started cutting it back and cutting it back and cutting it back. And eventually I was just drinking unsweetened iced tea. Did the same thing with sugar and coffee. Makes it pretty easy.
coffee, I've drank black for years.
Yeah.
I was on the Starbucks black coffee tasting panel for 2 years.
Cool.
So
Well,
that,
I think the last
part
cup of
doesn't
coffee I
bother
had
me.
was with you.
but after eating the sugar the other day and realizing how sick I felt, I'm not going back to sugar.
Good plan.
So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the coffee.
Hang on a second. We'll come back to it.
Oh, okay.
Jeanette, 1 low, 10 high. How concerned are you about giving up sugar this week?
Oh, I'm going to tell you, I have no concerns at all. But the reality is, I think I'm going to be floored as to how much sugar, because that's something I've realized personally after nearly passing out this last week from sugar. So sugar withdrawal. So I think that I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I got this. And then I'll be next week, like hair all in 10 different directions and circles under my eyes going, what the hell are you doing to me?
So
But, yeah.
pick a number for me.
Pick a number.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's gonna be like a total 10. Just because I you don't know what you don't know, and I think once I start paying attention, I'll just sugar is I think my biggest not, and I don't crave sweets. It's not the sweets. That's
Right.
not the sugar. It's the hidden shit. Excuse me, stuff.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
I put the veggie bullet on the Facebook page.
oh, cool.
And I just put the one it comes with, which is shred, cut, spiral. But you can buy all sorts of additional blades. So you can make fettuccine, you can make angel hair, you can make steak fries, you can make, they've got all sorts of different blades that you can buy for $10 a blade in addition, if there's something you liked.
I may have to go shopping this afternoon.
Yeah, and it's got suction cups on the bottom. So, I mean, you can really get going on it.
Cool. Excellent.
And it rices cauliflower.
Yeah, so does the Vitamix.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the Instant Pot, actually. But why not? It's always good to have alternatives.
Mm-hmm.
Sandra, 1 low, 10 high. What are your concerns about giving up sugar this week?
I think I'm probably a 7.
Okay.
My concerns would be just that I don't even realize how much sugar is in anything we eat. So, and also, I am with my parents and they eat a lot of sugar. So, I just have to make sure that, you know, I stay away from it. So, we'll see. And then the bad part is that a lot of times I still, you know, go out to eat fast food. And, you know, I don't know what's in it. So, yeah, so I guess no fast food next week.
That's probably going to be a good call. In terms of fast food, and I'll just open it up to everybody, what do you think she might be able to get away with in a fast food restaurant that won't have added sugar?
Nothing.
No bun.
No. McDonald's.
Salad, maybe.
No.
Yeah, salad,
But
maybe
even their
no
dressing has sugar in it, every single one of them.
Yeah.
And that they put sugar water to keep the salads fresh.
That's
If you ever
right.
eat their lettuce, it has a weird taste. It's a type of sugar dextrose to keep the lettuce green and fresh. Nothing, nada, empanada. Not even the mustard, sister.
Really? Not even mustard?
Not even
Oh
mustard.
my gosh.
I
Dana
found
and
one without it in it though.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, because I love mustard. I hate ketchup, but I love mustard.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Dana and I went mustard shopping when I was up there in Oregon. And how many different kinds did we look at and read all of the ingredients on and couldn't find any there without sugar in them?
About 15.
Yeah, about 15.
And then
Now,
I
the-
finally found one without it in it.
I've got 3 now. So Trader Joe's has a spicy brown mustard that has no sugar added. So that one's fine. At Walmart, I found a Dijon, which is not Grey Poupon. It's something that starts with an M. I can't remember what the name of it was, but it looks like a Dijon, like a Grey Poupon jar a lot. And then I found another one, horseradish mustard at Save Mart. So there are several different kinds that you
And
can
those are all
find.
fancy.
Yeah.
I just want some basic yellow mustard.
Yep. Nope.
They
French is-
all have sugar in it.
Sugar.
Ketchup had the Portland something ketchup doesn't have any sugar in it.
Really
Yeah.
cool. Well, I wanted cocktail sauce for Dungeness crabs actually a couple weeks ago, and I don't have ketchup in the house because I've never been able to find any that's not full of sugar. So I looked online to find out what I could substitute for ketchup, and it said use tomato sauce and add cloves. So I did that and added some horseradish and some lemon juice, and it was like really good stuff. Probably the best cocktail sauce I've ever made. And I don't feel compelled to put ketchup on things like, burgers or whatever. I just never have. I use-
Alan does though. He lives on ketchup.
So it's good to know that there's something available that's sugar-free. And if that's really true, Dana, if we're ever allowed to meet in person again, well, I guess we will at least next year when we go camping. But if we're ever allowed to go back to Provence, maybe you could bring me a bottle.
Okay.
That'd be
Or
cool.
I could just ship you one.
Well, that seems excessive. So cool. All right. So we've got a pretty good handle on how you're feeling about moving into this next week. Let's talk about the buffer zone next. And I'm not forgetting you, Linda. I will come back to you, I promise.
Share my screen and show the x-rays.
So buffer zone. You don't have to tell me, you don't have to decide right now, but you've got choices about how you're going to deal with this. So one of your choices is you're going to start tonight, sugar-free, done, all done, or not. You might say, I'm going to wait until Monday before I let go of the rest of the sugar. And you might choose to do something in between. Whatever you decide to do is perfect. It's exactly what is right for you in this program. And whatever that decision is, all I want you to do is pay attention to your food dialogues, how you're feeling about it, really pay attention to that stuff, because this is what's going to help to get it dialed in. And up until now, the excuse has been, well, Eric said, but that's no longer true. Now it comes back to you, to your food angel and your food devil, and you're going to be having that dialogue with yourself. You can't go blame it on Eric. So really pay attention to how that shakes out for you over the weekend. And then we'll be talking about that on Monday too, because I'm going to be really curious about how that works for you. Linda, you had a question about, oh, sorry, Stan,
Well, Linda was first.
are you on a different subject?
No, it's on this subject. The Eric said thing, if I understand putting that together with something you said earlier, we can no longer use Eric said as the excuse for anything that's got refined sugar, but anything else that we used to keep eating, we still have to keep eating because Eric said, right?
Yep.
So, for example, pistachios.
Uh-huh.
Okay, thanks.
And I mean, just FYI, there's nothing wrong with pistachios. And here's a spoiler for you. I'm never going to ask you to eliminate pistachios.
Okay, well, it's a bad example, but pasta, let's say.
Okay. For now, you're fine.
Okay. I mean, for now, that's what Eric said, right?
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Cool. Linda, you wanted to talk about caffeine?
Yeah, I was just curious to know. I was laughing a little bit because what would the coffee taste like without my dairy in it? And it's like, not too sure, but I really enjoy having something hot first thing in the morning.
Mhm.
So I was curious to know what would be a good substitute that I might try, because it's really hard for me not to have my coffee in the morning before my fruit.
Well, and that's also a little bit of a story. That's what you believe based on what your experience has been thus far.
Yeah, because like this morning it's like, oh, I really want that coffee. I'm so full, I don't want to freaking eat. But then I thought, I'm in it to win. Eat the damn fruit, drink the damn vegetables, and then enjoy your coffee. And I did it that way.
And
But
I
I have a feeling somewhere down the line, the coffee is going to be eliminated. So I was kind of looking for,
it could happen.
yeah, it could very well.
And whether or not we ask you to eliminate it, you may choose to eliminate it at some point anyway.
Right. But it'd be nice to know if there is something else I could start drinking that I might acquire a taste for. To learn something.
And yes, there are several things that you can do, but I'm going to say right now, don't do those.
Okay.
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 If you want to have the experience of having your coffee with less of the dairy load, cut back on how much you're putting in there just a little bit each day
Okay.
and see how you feel about that.
Okay.
Because the dairy actually contributes a lot to your feeling of fullness as well.
Okay.
And the reason I don't want to give you anything else to try differently is that's really kind of outside the program at this point. I don't want to make too many changes at once.
Okay.
It becomes hard to pay attention to the things we want you concentrating on right now.
Okay. All right. Well,
Fair
good to
enough.
know there's something coming.
Yep, there's always something coming. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming in the weeks ahead. It'll be great.
Okay.
Jeanette,
I have a quick question, because you said you eat your fruit throughout the day. Do you do the Alka-Geyser, then wait 30 minutes, then eat the fruit?
no, you can actually, even if you're having apple in your Alka-Geyser still, you can have them both simultaneously.
Okay.
Typically, we still want you starting with fruit. So
Okay.
ideally, you start with some fruit, and then, 15, 30 minutes later, go ahead and start in on your Alka-Geyser. But if you're still eating fruit, that's absolutely fine.
Okay. Thank you.
And you just want to make sure that you're finished both the fruit and the Alka-Geyser before you eat something solid like eggs or, chicken or whatever. Cool. Sandra, I want to come back to you and talk about headaches. Okay. So here's the deal. How many mini Cokes do you typically drink during a day?
I only drink one.
Okay. And are you drinking any other caffeine things like coffee or tea or, okay.
Occasionally I'll get a Starbucks Frappuccino, but that'll stop. I haven't actually, the other day, I did have a Frappuccino, I didn't tell you, but it made me feel so sick that I couldn't finish it. Oh, I'm not worried about that. The only thing that I'm worried about is my Starbucks points. But other than that, no, just the mini Coke.
Well, you can still use them for food, although you'll need to read the labels on the stuff you can read the labels on. Which, I mean, a lot of the Starbucks stuff has sugar added. It just does. I mean, it's true everywhere. So, if you find that you're getting headaches as a result of giving up the mini Cokes, there are breathing techniques that really do work.
Whoever tried calling Leonard.
And this could be good for you. You're fine, Jeanette. This could be good for you as well, potentially with the migraines. Probably won't get rid of migraines, but it might help. So the breathing technique goes like this. You want to make sure that you're sitting up really straight, spine is straight, so that you've got a clear airway. And what you're working on is slowing down your breathing significantly. So, and what you really need to do this for yourselves is set a timer on your phone for like a 1 minute interval. And as soon as you press the button, I want you to inhale through your nose and do it as slowly as you can. And from the belly, not from the chest. and then exhale through your nose as slowly as you can. What you're aiming for is an average of 5.5 seconds per inhale, 5.5 seconds per exhale, 5.5 breaths per minute. So here's what it looks like. Now, I'm not terribly noisy. That was one breath. When I did this morning just to test it on myself, I'm actually breathing when I do slow breathing, I'm breathing at about 4 breaths a minute. So I actually need to, for optimal results, I actually need to work on speeding it up just a little bit. So, but it's been proven in studies to actually eliminate headaches, normal headaches, and at least reduce the effects of migraines. So definitely worth trying. And you're going to want to do that for a period of about 5 minutes.
And that's before you think you might have an onset of a migraine or while you have it?
Well, certainly if it happens, but even better if you think that you're going to have it. You know, the first sign of pain, take the time and try the breathing. And let me know how that goes.
Is there somewhere I can find that too online? I forget things.
There probably is, but I don't know. This is
Or
out of,
I might just ask you again.
yeah, that's fine. Absolutely. This is out of James Nestor's book, Breath. And, you know, he's got a bunch of studies that prove it. And I don't have the physical book yet. I got to order that today so I can pull the bibliography stuff to be able to find the actual online sources.
I'll look for it too.
I'm sorry?
I'll look for it too.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. But I heard that this morning, and I immediately thought of Jeanette with the migraines. And you know, if you think you're going to have withdrawals from the caffeine, it's worth trying. So cool. All right. Any other questions before we wrap it up for today? We feeling good about the weekend? Everybody feeling good about that? Give me some thumbs up. How are we feeling about Monday? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Sideways. Not sure yet.
I love the honesty. I love the honesty.
Me too.
So seriously, you know, anything comes up over the weekend, you got questions or concerns or whatever, post them up in Facebook. I will do my best to get in there at least a couple of times over the weekend and make sure I get stuff addressed for you. And yeah, I'm excited to see how we come out on Monday. That'll be fun. Awesome. Have an amazing weekend, guys. Thanks so much. Keep playing full out.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Have a
Sally.
great
You too.
Hi, Sally.
Bye-bye. See you Monday.
Bye.